All right, welcome back to the channel. So, Vasyl Lomachenko has something to say about Teofimo Lopez, calls him a sparring partner, and the WBC goes back on its word about the franchise championship belt and is allowing Teofimo Lopez to fight for it. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. So, not too many things we can agree upon. Like I said in another video that'll come up today, not too many things that most boxing fans can agree upon, but we can dang sure agree upon the sanctioning bodies being trash. And the WBC is really going out of their way to try to prove it by allowing Teofimo Lopez to fight Vasyl Lomachenko for not just the WBA belt, the WBO belt, and the IBF belt, but to also allow Teofimo Lopez to fight for the WBC franchise belt. Absolutely predictable, which is why you should never put anything past the WBC. We'll talk about that in a second, but before that, gotta tell you that my prediction for the outcome of this fight has most likely changed. Originally, I was saying that I would pick Teofimo Lopez to beat Vasyl Lomachenko, and there's a lot of reasons why a lot of reasons that I gave for that. Well, not a lot, several reasons that I gave for that. Primarily, they were that the age. Well, number one, the unique skill of Teofimo Lopez. Don't let anything that I say in this video make you believe that I think anything other than Teofimo Lopez is an exceptional talent and really does have a chance to be a special fighter. When I first heard of Teofimo Lopez, I tell this story often because I think it's important, because I don't want anybody to get caught unawares if Teofimo Lopez does some really exceptional things. The first time that I heard about Teofimo Lopez, I was talking to a father of a professional fighter who turned, and that professional fighter had turned pro around the time of Teofimo Lopez, saw Teofimo Lopez in the amateurs fighting and all that. And when I asked them, I was like, who do you think the best guy is, the best talent is, between Lopez, Haney, Garcia, and that class? I don't think I mentioned Chris Colbert, but I probably should have. But little B-Hop Chris Colbert. And the guy was like, Teofimo Lopez. Really quick. Boom, Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez, he's just got tremendous power. He's a great fighter, very, very smart, all that stuff, right? And what I've seen in his career, in the biggest moment of his career, he showed up big. And that was the fight against Richard Comey. Now he's fighting Vasyl Lomachenko. So I thought very highly of him. And on top of that, I thought because he really does have star potential, that the top rank might lean, if there's any type of political, hocus pocus that can be pulled, the top rank would try to pull that hocus pocus for Teofimo Lopez, because Teofimo Lopez has a longer life and there's more money to be made off of Teofimo Lopez in the long run than there is off Vasyl Lomachenko. But that changed when Bob Arum refused to pay to do the money, and Lomachenko now gave up some amount of money to satisfy Teofimo Lopez. Originally, Teofimo Lopez was getting paid $1.5 million, and Vasyl Lomachenko was getting like 3 point something, like 3.2, whatever it would end up with, like $4.7 million total pot. Lomachenko was getting the lion's share of it. Teofimo Lopez is like, look, man, no, I can get more money than that. I'm not fighting for that money. Shakur Stevenson got $400,000 for Shakur Stevenson's fight against I can't remember what his name was that he fought, but a guy that wasn't particularly well known. So I deserve it more than that to fight Vasyl Lomachenko. Lomachenko gives him some amount of money out of his purse. I've heard 200,000. I've heard 800,000. 200,000, I suspect, is probably what it is, somewhere around there, to get him to 2.7, rolled down Lomachenko to somewhere around 3 million. 3 million to, whatever that winds up being for Teofimo Lopez, and the fight gets done, right? But I've heard that that Bob Arum isn't really big on Teofimo Lopez because of his personality or whatever. But now that Lomachenko says, look, man, thank you for running your mouth so much. This is going to be like a sparring. This is going to be like a sparring session for me. I like that. That means that the old dude is coming in there and he's really going to try to come in there and prove a point. And I don't know, man. I don't know if Teofimo Lopez, if you really want to do that to Vasyl Lomachenko. Lomachenko is a great fighter. I don't have him as my number one pound for pound fighter in the world. I have that being Terrence Crawford. But dude, there is a long way between number one pound for pound and trash. So, despite the fact that pretty much people act like if you're not the number one pound for pound fighter in the world, you're no good. If you're whatever, you get the point. Dude, Lomachenko can fight. For real can fight. So I don't know if you really want to have him 100% dialed in for you. And because I don't think that he really has seen many people that he thought has been much of a threat in his career. In part because he's a really great fighter, and also in part because he hasn't really fought anybody since Gary Russell Jr. and Leo Santa Cruz. Not Leo Santa Cruz, Orlando Salido. I guess I should say he thought, Orlando Salido was definitely a challenge for him. So anyway, but so Lomachenko says, man, it's going to be like a sparring match. Thank you for, for promoting the fight and all that stuff. Now I'm about to beat you down. So that makes me say, I don't know, Teofimo Lopez, dude. You better, you really better be on your A game. You better be on your A game because Vasyl Lomachenko ain't no pushover. However, I wouldn't say that I think that Lomachenko is going to be a close fight either way. That's my take on it. It's going to be a close fight either way. But the winner will be the WBC franchise champion. Now, this is the part that I wanted to talk about in this video the most. WBC is just, their decision-making process is so patently about the money for them in any particular instance. I've read the bylaws. I think they're entitled the bylaws or the rules and regulations of the WBC. And one of I think might be section 1 or section 2, but one of it is right in the front. It's interpretation. It's a clause called interpretation. And essentially what it says is that everything that you read in this document is going to be interpreted by the WBC. And we can interpret it how we see fit if it is in the best interest of boxing. I probably should say that better. That they can interpret it however they wish in accordance to what they believe is in the best interest of the sport of boxing. So if a rule says that there's a mandatory and the mandatory must be at this time, at this date, within this amount of time, the WBC can interpret that rule however they want, right? Which means that they might say, it doesn't apply in this circumstance. That's my interpretation. Doesn't apply. That's my interpretation, right? Or, usually that's what I would say. But in this circumstance, it's in the best interest of boxing that we have 2 mandatories this year. Or that we have back-to-back mandatories. Or it's in the best interest of boxing we have no mandatory at all, right? They can do all of that stuff with their rules, and they're doing that with their rules. When they originally, this fight was originally announced between Vasyl Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez. We said, hey man, this cannot be for an undisputed title because you can't win the WBC franchise belt. It's a designation. Well, what does the WBC do? They say, nah, not in this instance. With Teofimo Lopez, we believe Teofimo Lopez qualifies for the franchise championship. But the WBC, you said that this is for fighters that fight in multiple weight classes. Teofimo Lopez has never fought in another weight class other than the lightweight. And he's not announced any plans to fight in another weight class other than lightweight. So why would you give him the franchise championship, which would allow him to then move up to lightweight but still be the champion for the WBC? That's not Canelo. He doesn't sell he doesn't have the ticket sales of Canelo. I thought it was originally for Canelo because Canelo was some mega star, huge, right? All of that. Bigger than the sport of boxing, the face of boxing. Can't hold back the face of boxing with the mandatory in Jamal Charlo, so we got to let him fly, right? That's what we got the franchise belt. Isn't that what they came up for it for? Then it went to Lomachenko. But why? Because Lomachenko, 3 divisions. 2-time Olympic gold medalist, once a lifetime talent. Franchise. Teofimo Lopez? If Teofimo Lopez beats the franchise champion, that will be the only thing that he accomplished that would justify him being the franchise champion. That's it. He ain't beat nobody, beat Richard Comey. He's not selling out stadiums. He's not some big mate. He's not a Canelo Alvarez draw. He's not some huge draw like Canelo Alvarez. He doesn't have 2 Olympic gold medalists and championships in 3 divisions like Lomachenko. What only thing that Teofimo Lopez could possibly have that would justify that is that franchise is the fact that he beat Vasyl Lomachenko. So now you change the rule. Now all you have to do is beat the franchise champion and you can become franchise champion, which means what? You have just ducked mandatories for your weight division. You have just eliminated mandatories. You just selectively eliminated mandatories by giving them a different designation. And then guess what's next? Oh, he's undisputed because he's the franchise champion too, right? Because isn't that the trick? Isn't that where we're going? Dude, the WBC is a joke, man. It's a joke. But I got a video coming up about that later. Make sure you check it out. Anyway, man, it's absolutely ridiculous. You let me know what you think about that in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.